Hi,
Hi,
Jen.
how are you, Susan?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. So,
So here,
why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
yeah, so here we are today. We're starting a video and showing people exactly what Jen and I and Jen do. So we are, I don't know, what do you want to call us? I call myself vibrational energy practitioner, consultant slash health coach.
Perfect. Perfect.
And
And I call myself biofeedback practitioner and health coach. So,
right,
very
yeah.
similar, all the same.
Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to share to the public basically what we do and basically introduce exactly what we do so we can assist anybody that might need our services. And we are health coaches, certified health coaches, I should say. Um, and I don't know, tell me a little bit about what, to show everybody what you do, Jen, and then I'll tell a little bit what I do.
All right. So, the great thing is, Susan, you and I both do the same thing, which is
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we're a team.
We're a team. So, we both do the same thing. We may call it something a little different, but that's okay. That's okay. It's all the same thing. So, what we both do, what I do is I actually call it electrodermal biofeedback. And what that is, it's a whole body assessment. So, it's basically the objective, right? It's finding out what the root cause of stress or imbalance is in your body. Okay. And that's through touching the meridian points on your finger and getting an energy reading from you. And at that point, we find out what's stressed and imbalanced or balanced in your body, which is really neat.
Yeah, so it's basically it's not like, it's somewhat kind of like a diagnosis, but we basically find the cause of what is going on in an individual's body per se. We don't diagnose, we're not doctors, so we want to get that out there. And basically we want to find out, like you said, find out what's going on inside the body, imbalances and or stresses. And those stresses can be what? Nutritional.
Right. It could be anything that intolerances in your body, such as like allergies, any bacteria, viruses that may be showing up stressed in your body, or emotions that show up stressed in your body, right?
Yeah, the emotions are really a really big deal. I kind of enjoy looking at them because I think that is really what can one of the big reasons that can start any kind of imbalance going on.
Right. Yeah,
And
because everything stems from our emotions. When we're stressed out, when we are feeling emotional, that starts attacking our organs, right? And we get sick.
if it goes on too long, I think if you don't address the emotion
Right.
to be able to let it go, or you
Let it
know
go, let it go.
it
Is that a song?
is. I haven't seen that movie, but I've
Goodness,
heard
Susan,
of
we got to
that.
get you out there.
Yeah. But we need to address emotions, and you can have a multitude of emotions that are kind of like piled up on one another over many years that haven't been released or looked at, you dealt with, and stuff like that. So that's one of the one of the imbalances, I would say, that is huge, that we can look at. Not only have we done it in person in a office setting, but it can be done from, I guess we call it distance.
Right. Remote testing, distance
Remote
testing.
testing, yeah, that's
Absolutely.
another name. It can be done. It's been done. We're not the first to do it. So it's something that may be new to a lot of people that have never heard of it before. So basically that's what we're doing, is we're introducing that,
Right.
specifically that. And how does that work? How would you explain it, Jen?
Well, I think distance testing is really quite amazing, right? Because it's basically taking the reading. So say I'm testing you, on the phone, on Zoom, I'm testing you from a distance. And what that does is I will actually test myself for you in place of you, and I will get your energetic readings. So it's really spot on. It's amazing. I've been trained and you've been trained on that. And we can see the results because there was a time where you tested me, Susan, and somebody else remotely tested me, and exactly the same results.
The
So,
same results. My mind was blown away because I'll have to tell you that I was a skeptic at first when I first heard about this. I'm like, how can that be done? It just doesn't make any sense.
right,
So fast forward for what, 5 years now, and we've seen it happen.
yeah,
In basically, you get your results in real time. It's basically your results as of the day you're being tested, or the day that you have your session. It's like what is imbalanced that day, not what happened 5 years ago, although it could, basically tell a story of what happened. I've had, clients when we had our office, it basically tells a story of what happened over your span of lifetime up until that point. And it's
right.
not any kind of like what's going to happen in the future, but it's basically the storyline of what has happened up until that point. And that's what makes it amazing. Is like you can start to see all the things and connect the
It's like
dots, so to
it's like
speak.
peeling an onion, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
peeling an onion where you start at one little section and then you start peeling away and you go deeper and deeper. So I mean, that's a really neat aspect of it. Something may come up, but we're going to delve deeper into it and find out why and how and when. And
Right. It's basically the whole body and mind, not just like, okay, you have an ache here. Let's find out what's going on with that ache. But
right.
we can go back in time. For instance, I'll give you an example. I had a client that when she came in, I noticed her head was a little bit, carried forward, and she didn't look, comfortable. She wasn't sitting up straight. And so when I started testing her, and that was an in-person screening, so I was touching her on her meridian line and found that she had a injury. And I said, "Did you have an injury recently?" She says, "No, but I think she said about 7 or 10 years ago, she fell off a horse, and the horse had basically stepped on her."
Ouch.
And yeah, and so she was having problems up until this point,
Right.
and
And it
I
picked up.
recommended that she go see a chiropractor.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that we can detect, because your body is basically telling
Speaking.
us.
It's speaking to us.
Right. And so we can go line by line, organ by organ, what's going on in those particular organs, if there's any stress or any imbalances.
How about I show a little sample, Susan?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me pull that up. Let's see if
Okay.
I know how to do this share screening kind of stuff. All right. Can you see the screen, Susan?
Yes.
All right. So this is a stress filter list, which you've seen, Susan, but everyone else hasn't. And this is a nice list that shows things that are, that could be stressed in your body. So for example, if you see the reds, right, those are what's stressed in your body right now. The greens that you're seeing are things that are balanced in
Well,
your body.
not in my body, but this is an actual client that you had.
Correct. Not yours, Susan. No, this is not
Yeah.
yours.
I was like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here?
You're right. So this is just a sample of someone's test we have done before, and it shows the stress that's in the person's body. So for example, you can see that their kidney function is a little stressed. Their, brain tissue is stressed. There's radiation that's stressed in their body. Sleep is stressed in their body. They're not getting enough sleep.
Right. So let's explain basically what the numbers in the far right hand column mean. So basically you have a 0 to 100 scale. So, and then the different colors, we now show the red and the green, but there's also yellow. So we can explain a little bit to everybody what those mean. So if you have a number that is in red, which is basically a number 56 to 100, that means it's stressed. So say for instance, in the upper left corner, it says phenolics. So basically phenolics, that's like some kind of medication or pharmaceutical, something pharmaceutical. Maybe you're taking pharmaceutical drugs that is showing that your body is being stressed by it. And so the higher the number in red means it's more stressed.
Correct. Yep, that's true. That's absolutely
And
true.
for instance, oxygen is 64 on this one. And, you know, it's not too far off the balance, which the balanced is any number between 45 and 55, but it means that you're not getting enough oxygen in your body.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And present emotion is 65. Again, it's like 10 points over the balanced. So this is basically a degree of like a chart in which you will, like if you went to a doctor, you wouldn't see a chart like this. This might be the beginning stages of something that, you know, you can address it and, you know, make changes in your life, your lifestyle and things like that. So you would start maybe having, start deeper breathing techniques. That could be something that could be done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This actually picks up prior to blood work. So it's giving you precursors of what's going on in your body, which is really neat.
Right, right.
Um,
Let's see, what else? There's like sleep, there's just so many stresses. I was trying to figure out the other day, Jen, like how many different stress lines are there in this software, would you say? I know that there's over 7,000 points, but a lot of those are
well, those could be remedies. Those could be
remedies.
different things too. I'm not sure how many stress there are, but there's a lot. I mean, there's, you know,
Yeah,
I mean, it just depends what your body is dealing with at that moment. So right here, you know, for example, pollen, right? It's showing a stress in this person's body, but in another person, it may not show stress. So
right.
reality, it doesn't, it just depends on each person's individuality and what's going on in their body.
Yeah, so if this, for instance, if this came up on somebody's chart, you could, you know, make note of it, like what the highest numbers are, and go to like the emotional section. Like the
Mhm.
present emotion comes up pretty high, and so you would go to the emotional section and find out which emotion that that person is, you know, dealing with, and so you can bring that up and then address that emotion so the client can, you know, make note of it and, you know, do some.
What's really neat about emotions, I think that's actually one of my favorite ones. I mean, there's a lot of them, but that's actually one of my favorite ones just because with emotion, we can go through A through Z to check your emotions to see which ones are stressed and which ones are balanced, right? Then we can actually narrow it down to the one emotion that stands out the most in your body and what's bothering you the most. So we can narrow it down from all those A through Z to one emotion. And at that
Right.
point, it's amazing. We can get an affirmation for you that actually helps with that emotion. And from there, you will see if you add that affirmation in, we can retest you and see that you become balanced now with that emotion. It's amazing. It is so amazing.
Right, right. So again, we're dealing with the whole body and mind, not just like
Yeah.
You know, one thing that's going on in your body, and usually, well, not usually, but all the time, you don't even have to say what's going on, you know, with you. And as we're doing it, you can start talking and say, oh yeah, this is exactly what's going on with me. And then we make a notation in the, you know, in the comment section. So
Right.
we can just know and, you know, start to connect the dots and find out what kind of remedies or what kind of things you need to do. You know, this isn't kind of like, you know, we want to explain to people it's not something that is going to fix you. You still have to do the work. So for instance, if we do vitamins and minerals, if there's a vitamin or mineral that your body needs, you still need to take that and, you know, take the steps to, you know, be responsible for your whole body. And I think that's basically what we're trying to do, is trying to get people to be responsible for their own, you know, health and wellness.
Correct.
And, you know, that's what my main drive is anyways.
Of course, because it's reality is we're a whole package, right? Where we have mind, body, and soul. It's a whole package. There's no quick fix, right? This is just helping us address what's going on in our body and to actually get a picture of what's going on. And then from there, the person has to take the action so that they can
Yep.
get to balance in their body, right? So
Right.
if their hormones are off, if they're, you know, lacking some vitamins or minerals, you know, we let them know that, and they are able to work on that themselves and then bring those back to balance.
Right. We can recommend certain brands. We don't sell them per se. I don't know. We have accounts at different companies and stuff like that. I think Jen, I don't know if you want to get involved in that, but you know, we can recommend certain companies that that are very high quality, and, you know, so that you can stay away from the ones that aren't high quality.
Right. Right.
Um, let me open up, if I can share a screen, and I'll open up the software.
What's really neat too, maybe you can pull this up, Susan, is testing all the foods, right? So a lot of people go in for an, you know, food allergy test, and they want to see what's going on with their, you know, foods. And if they're allergic or intolerant to any specific foods, a lot of people have some issues with dairy, gluten, you know, a lot of
Mhm.
intolerances. With our, you know, technology that we have, it's non-invasive, right? And you're not going to get pricked or anything, which is great. And we can test, as you can see on the screen here, all the different foods and beverages, and be able to see what your body is stressed with and what is balanced in your body. So
Mhm.
if you pull up grains, Susan, right? So we can test grains in stress. And if you see right there, there's gluten, and that we'd want to test. A lot of people have gluten intolerance, and we're not saying you're celiac or any of that, but just sensitive, gluten sensitivity. So we could test you if you're, see what your body comes up with. If it shows a stress, that means your body, you know, doesn't do well with gluten.
Right. And then, you know, if there's something on here that we don't understand, you know, what it is, we can click on over here, the item information. Oh, bad example. We can click on, nope, I don't think grains will have
I
it.
think foods are a little different when it comes to,
Self-explanatory.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, we can go into nutrition and then just show, here's the minerals. We can, you know, show boron, and then what boron is useful for. So,
Exactly.
yeah, boron, it says indicated by, indicated may be beneficial in the prevention of postmenopausal osteoporosis. Boron is a trace mineral mostly found in foods of plant origin. It appears to be essential for plant growth and development. Healthy growing in its health promoting effects in humans are becoming increasingly apparent, beneficial in the treatment of arthritis, and helps build muscle. So that's just one of them. There's
Yeah. And that's awesome too. I mean, we can test vitamins, minerals, amino acids, enzymes. I mean, you name it. There's 7,500 different things we can test in your body. We can go through the whole anatomy. We can go through the organs. I mean, there's so much we can see, you know, what's stressed in your body. So it's a really amazing modality. Oh, you're pulling up emotions. That's one of my favorites, right? So emotions, you can see A through D. So for example, there we would test each one individually and see which ones, you know, which ones are stress. Because of course we have multiple. We change all the time. Our emotions, our body is ever changing because of just environment, you know, things,
Right.
stress that's happening in our life, things.
Yeah, be it at work, at home, at school, or, just the daily struggles, stresses of life.
Exactly.
Things happen to us. There's, nobody's immune to emotions unless you're, a doorknob or something.
And you know, our emotions can get the best of us. For example, right? If we are, you know, stress is a big one for a lot of people. And when we have chronic stress, right? When we have stress over and over and over again and we're not able to deal with the situations at hand, what happens is a lot of people, you know, their thyroid starts, you know, lowering, and their adrenals start lowering because adrenals deal with stress, right? So we start dropping in those items, and at that point we start having chronic fatigue, right? So our emotions do affect our body. It absolutely does. And so we need to learn many different tools, not just, you know, popping a pill here and there or a supplement here and there.
Yes.
It's a whole package. It's about journaling and deep breathing and bringing our stress down and, you know, meditating, whatever it may be. There's so
Right.
many different remedies that make.
Using herbs and essential oils is
Absolutely.
a huge part of the emotional package.
Yep. Yep. So, I mean,
I mean,
there's a
yeah, go
lot
ahead.
of great information.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
So,
I think we gave a really good snippet of kind of what we're doing, and you know, I think you know this gives a good picture to start with, right?
right.
People need to know what it is we do, and you know, today we just wanted to give you some information about it.
Yeah. So, anyways, if this is something, and it's not for everybody, some people may not understand it. You may not, be on that road yet to comprehend this, but I think people are learning more about different ways to, um, stay on this path of wellness, and they're turning there's just so many people turning a new leaf to trying different things, and to become well, because it's like everybody deserves to have great health. That's my philosophy. Everybody deserves it.
Absolutely.
And if there's one person that I can help, I'm happy. That makes me happy. So if you want to, if this sounds interesting to you, and if this sounds like something you want to investigate, we're going to put our links in the description below. So feel free to click on those links and make your online session with Jen, or with Jen or I. We're going to put this up on our own YouTube channels. So
Yep, that's perfect. You know, contact us if you have any questions. Our links will be attached, and you know, you can contact us with any questions and or if you want to schedule your appointments. So we're really happy that we could share with you, and we'll be coming back and sharing more. Maybe next time we'll even share our personal stories with you, how, you know, we got into this, why, how, who, what, when, and all that good stuff.
I mean, yeah, we both have our own stories, how we ended up together. That's a journey that is continuing, and hopefully that we can continue this for years to come, because I from my point of view, from my life, and I can only speak for myself, is like I felt I was you know going to be this healer, and that's what my journey is.
Yeah, and my goal is to help people. So I know
Yeah.
we're on the same path. You know, we have good intentions, good hearts to help people, and I think that's the main focus, right?
Yes.
But we're not going to share anymore because we're going to tell them next time.
Next time. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for the next one. All right, you guys.
All right. We'll see you later.
Take good
Take care.
care.
Bye.